Hi everybody, and welcome to those of you that are joining us for our TikTok live with the Pink Ribbon Foundation and also Goddiva. We are delighted to be here. We're going to be talking to you today about breast cancer awareness, about the work of the Pink Ribbon Foundation, and also chatting to the three lovely ladies that I've got here with me. I'll introduce you now just very briefly, but obviously we're going to wait for a few more people to join. But we've got Trisha here joining us.
Hello.
We've also got Daniela. And next to me we've got Kat as well. Hello. So all these lovely ladies have been affected by breast cancer, and the Pink Ribbon Foundation, we've worked very closely with them over the last couple of years. They're going to have some valuable information for you about their own experiences and things that you may not be aware of, and the importance obviously of checking your boobs as well. So yeah, please join us. We're here probably till about 5 o'clock. Depends how quickly we run out of things to talk about. I'm sure we could be here for hours because these are great ladies, and they're all wearing Goddiva dresses as well. Oh, sorry, little show. Goddiva. Yes. So we're going to kick it off shortly and tell you a little bit about the work of the Pink Ribbon Foundation, which is celebrating its 25th anniversary this year. I know, 25 years. I've been doing this for 25 years. I started when I was very small.
When you were 2?
When I was 2, I wish. It's been a long time. It's amazing how quickly time flies actually, isn't it? 25 years in the blink of an eye. Some of you weren't born then, were you? You're only a baby, Daniela.
I was definitely born 25 years ago.
How are we doing? Have we got lots of people joining us from all parts of the UK? Fabulous. So let me kick off. My name is Lisa Allen, and I work at the charity, the Pink Ribbon Foundation, which is a breast cancer charity here in the UK, which, as I mentioned, is celebrating its 25th anniversary this year. We're a grant-making foundation, so we're a little bit different to a lot of the breast cancer charities out there, but basically what that means is that we raise money all year long and raise awareness, and then we give it away to breast cancer charities across the whole of the UK. On average, we give to around 70 different charities every year, all across the UK, and that money helps fund vital services to charities within communities that are offering frontline services. So things, for instance, like alternative treatments, counselling, free holidays, the gift of a chemo bag when someone's starting treatment, a whole range of different services that are useful for people when they're going through their breast cancer treatment. As a charity, people assume that we are a big organisation. There are a lot of big breast cancer charities out there. We're not like that at all. We have very little infrastructure as a charity, which I think is really important, and I think the ladies here will testify to this later as well. It makes working with us, I hope, very easy, because there's only 4 of us at the Pink Ribbon Foundation. There's myself, and then we have the Chair of Trustees, Jonathan, and 2 lovely trustees as well, called Liz and Angie. So there's a team of 4. We all work from home. We don't have any offices, and having no salaried staff and no offices basically keeps our costs really low. So more of the money that people raise in the name of the Pink Ribbon Foundation goes where it's needed, which is to basically help those in a difficult time have some nice things done to their bodies in the terms of, you know, reflexology and Reiki and things like that. Also pays for free holidays as well, and some important counselling and things. So that's pretty much what the Pink Ribbon Foundation does, and I'm sure we'll touch upon that again shortly. But I'd like to introduce you to these ladies again. We've got Trisha, Daniela and Kat, and we all met in September 2023. Feel free to interject. And this was because the Pink Ribbon Foundation met, I think it was in about 18 months before that, a beautiful photographer called Caroline, who's based in the Netherlands. And through our partnership with Think Pink Europe, we met her in Tenerife, and she has created a fantastic photo project called Bold. And Bold is a photography project that takes photos of women who have lost their hair. And this, for the most part, just because breast cancer is the most common cancer among women, a lot of the time they've lost their hair because of breast cancer, but she also photographs people that have lost their hair because of alopecia and other cancers. And the idea is that she takes these photos to show the lady that's being photographed, just how beautiful they are when they've lost their hair. You know, features such as eyes, cheekbones, lips become more apparent. But also to inspire other people that may be also going through treatment or know someone that's going through treatment. And I put a call out in the summer of 2023 on social media, Instagram, Facebook. I wasn't on TikTok at that time. No, sorry, TikTok. And the idea is that we wanted to get recruit some ladies who were at that stage of being bald or in the early stages of regrowth, which is what you were, Daniela. Yeah. And we got Caroline over from the Netherlands, and we found 12 beautiful ladies, as well as our 13th lady, Linda Nolan, who obviously has very recently passed. And we took these photos in London, and no one knew where they were going to go then, did they?
Not a clue.
I think I've just turned my mic off, actually. Have I turned my mic off? I don't know. Yes, it's on now, I think. I've got a loud enough voice, I don't need a mic anyway. But we took these photos in September 2023, not knowing what we were going to do to use them with. And then in 2024, last year, for World Cancer Day, and we'll talk about your experiences with this actually, World Cancer Day 2024, your images were on the Piccadilly line.
Many things to factor in. So sometimes just to have like schedule an appointment, whether it be the dentist, whether it be something for you, you put off because you prioritise your other things in life. Like
you
for
prioritise
me,
other people.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm like, oh no, I'm not going to have an hour off of work when I could be with the kids. You know, like I would just prioritise it like that. And you know, it's thanks to the NHS and the MRIs that mine was found. But you know, I had 3 lumps and I only felt 1. So had I had that one not have been, you know, for me to fill, and I wasn't having the annual MRI, who knows how long it would have been undetected for. So I just think we have these services, we should use them, because you like you say, countries, if you were in America, you'd have to pay top money for this.
It's a cliche, which is actually very true. You never think it's going to happen to you. You just never think it's always someone else.
Unless you're negative like me. A drama queen.
But it is, because cancer now is one in 2 people.
I know. You still think it's not going to happen to you. You think it's someone else, but to someone else, you are someone else.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So, you know.
Well, breast cancer is, someone's diagnosed with breast cancer in the UK every 10 minutes. I mean, we've been on this chat already for an hour. And so that, you know, so that's a lot of people. 1 in 2 for any types of cancer in the UK. So yes, everyone's going to know somebody that's been affected by some form of cancer. And if you're female and your friendship group has got a lot of women in it, quite possibly breast cancer as well. Because it's one person, 1 in 7 in their lifetime that is now at risk of breast cancer. But you know, the advances are being made. I know, you know, our charity's been going to Trolley as well.
Absolutely. So I was babysitting my niece in March 22. Yeah, because she was 9 at the time, and I stayed over at the house, and it was while I was there, I turned over in the bed and I felt a lump, and it actually scared me. I knew it was something sinister straight away. But
so you felt it just by the movement of laying on the bed?
I just turned in the bed and I felt it.
Wow.
I've not felt that before in the shower or anything.
Right.
And I remember at the time thinking, how did I not feel that? I mean, it was just, it's so huge. It was just so obvious. So anyway, fortunately, I had a mammogram booked the next day. I won't.
Just a coincidence, or
just what? I was just going to say, I'm not going to bother to go into that, but I will.
It's me prime.
On my 50th birthday, I was sent a letter.
A nice invitation by the NHS. I've had one of those. Yeah.
So, but then I kept booking one, and it kept getting cancelled. So I thought, okay, do you know what? I'm just going to pick a random date, and I booked the 31st of March 2022. And I actually found the lump on the 30th.
Wow.
The day before.
So you didn't have, like Kat had, some of that 2-week worry or anything.
No.
You found it was worried, but knew the next day you was going to have
Yes,
it looked
so
at.
I went into one of those Sainsbury's car parks.
Yeah.
They have mobile
Yeah, the
units.
mobile units.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I went
So
there
glam.
yeah.
in Sydenham. So glam, I know. In Sydenham, and I went there, and I explained what had happened, and I remember the lady when I had my mammogram. I remember the lady's face, and I just knew. I thought this is something sinister. So I've got a good friend, Charmaine. Hello, Charmaine, if you're watching. She's a breast care.
Charmaine better be watching.
She better be.
She better be watching.
She is a breast care nurse.
Right.
Who works at St George's. So she said to me, Trisha, if you get a letter, and it's a thin letter, nothing to worry about. If you get a letter and it's thick, then you need to know.
Oh God.
God.
So the postman came and you were like that with your
That's a
letter.
tip.
So I was looking for the post, and of course it didn't arrive because they called me.
Oh, okay. Well, that threw her theory out the window.
Well, they called me before the letter came.
Oh,
eventually,
okay.
and it was a
Afterwards.
thick letter.
That's Royal Mail, that is. Slow.
But they called me before just in case I didn't get the letter in time, which scared me even more. I had to go for a biopsy. This was at the beginning of April 22. Went for a biopsy, and it was.
Anyone wants to throw at us yet, or should we keep talking? What's coming in?
Somebody asked what were the early signs?
Early signs. Okay, so this is the thing, right? Okay. So with breast cancer, it's really important that people know they're normal. Now, the only way you're going to know what's normal for you, and everybody's normal is different, as we've established, because everybody's breasts are different shapes and sizes, and they change at different times of the month as well, depending on where you are in your cycle. So it's really important that people check. So what we recommend is that you check at the same time every month. Now, there's a big campaign on Instagram that we all tag onto, which is called Feel It on the First, which is great because it raises awareness and reminds people to check their boobs. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to check your boobs on the first of every month. That's just a reminder. It all depends on your cycle. So what we do suggest is that you check at the same time every month, because then you're going to get an idea of how your boobs are at the same time each month. Now, you can download these actually from the Pink Ribbon Foundation's website. So there's a PDF version of our self-check guide. However, you might have seen that we've all been sporting these rather sparkly brooches. And if you go online to the shop on the Pink Ribbon Foundation website, you can actually buy a crystal brooch. And if you buy the brooch, we do send them out with a free self-check card. And this is an A7 card, it's laminated, it's a really good size to stick on your bathroom mirror, stick on your fridge, put it on the outside of your shower, keep it on your forehead, basically somewhere where you're going to see it regularly, somewhere that's going to basically, every time you see it, it will just remind you to go, oh, I need to check my boobs. The shower is a really good place to check your boobs, and you said that you found your breast cancer in the shower, didn't you? Soapy hands in the shower or the bath is really good. Yeah, with your hand.
Yeah.
But equally, standing in front of the mirror, because you know it's good to check with your arms up or as well as down as well. But the signs and symptoms of breast cancer, generally, you might only get 1 or 2 signs or symptoms of breast cancer. But it's important to say first off that breast cancer doesn't always present itself as a lump. Okay, there are lots of different signs. So the things that you'll see, oh, my eyes are getting really bad. Age, it's even really bad. Or the print, I mean, the print on here is very tiny to just say. But so some of the changes, I'm just going to do this in the order that they're on the card. So you've got changes in the size or shape of your breast. You've also got any discharge from the nipple area that is something to look out for, and any inversion of the nipple as well. So if it looks like it's being pulled inwards, that's also a sign to look out for. You're looking for any change in the skin texture. So it could be redness, it could be a rash, it could be puckering on the skin as well. Lumps, obviously, which is what most people think of when they think of breast cancer. Any lumps that are there as well are also good to look for. And we talked about discharge on the nipples. And pain. Most breast cancer doesn't present itself as pain, but I do know people that have had pain, which has been a symptom that's made them go to the GP, and then obviously breast cancer has been found. I would say that breast cancer in young women is still uncommon. Most cancers, all cancers tend to be in older people. So you're looking at plus 50. However, we do know that more young people are being diagnosed with cancers, including breast cancer. And there's a lot of evidence that shows that that can be to do with lifestyle changes, stress, alcohol, food, sedentary lifestyles. And it's not just one thing, it could be a combination of all of those things. So when you see one of these signs, because you're going to be checking yourselves regularly from now on, obviously, if you do notice any of these signs or symptoms, I wouldn't say panic, because it might be nothing. It might be, you know, a cyst or something else. It doesn't necessarily mean it's breast cancer, but it's really important that you go to the GP and let them decide whether it needs investigating or not. So the signs and symptoms can all be found on these cards. They can also be found on the Pink Ribbon Foundation's website. Look out for them, be aware of them, check yourselves regularly every month. But if you do find something, try not to panic. Easier said than done, I know. But as soon as you're concerned with anything that isn't your normal, go to the GP and speak to the GP, and they will refer you for further testing if they deem it necessary. So in terms of awareness, that is so crucial. We know through a study that was done with Breast Cancer Now and YouGov, I think it was last year, that nearly half of women in the UK are not checking their breasts regularly. It was 47%. So that's a big percentage.
My sister being one of them.
Yeah, Danielle, what's your sister's name?
Lara.
Lara.
Yeah, Lara.
Okay, Lara, if you're listening, this is for you.
I want to meet you.
You need to be checking your boobs, okay? And the other thing to bear in mind as well is breast cancer is predominantly a female disease. 55,000 women a year in the UK are diagnosed with breast cancer. But also men get breast cancer, and that is something that I know myself when I go and do talks around, and you talk to men and you say, did you know you can get breast cancer? Like, oh no, I can't, I ain't got boobs.
My hair was thin, but I wouldn't necessarily lose it, so they recommended the cold cap. Now, as you know from my appointment, I was petrified of losing my hair, so I was like, well fine, I'm going to cold cap, I'll do that. But the mental strain it added to every appointment, because your head freezes. Like there's no ifs, no buts. The preparation for it, you know, you have to take a big
So
blanket.
for those that don't know, just explain what the cold cap is. I know that we know, but there might be some people out there that don't know.
So the cold cap is basically you have to have your hair wet, and they put a conditioner on it, and then it almost looks like a silicone brain, let's say, and it fits to your head. And basically, the tighter it is to your head, the more effective it is. So anyone that wants to cold cap, my advice would be put your hand at the top, and if you can move it up and down, it's not tight enough, you need to push it to your scalp. So the closer it is, the more effective it will be. And it essentially freezes your hair follicles to stop them from falling out, basically. And it's not just...
And it's cold.
It is very cold. It's
very
cold.
cold.
I took it off and I had like ice in my hair.
Yeah.
But it's not something that's just on the day. You have to, so you can't wash your hair with hot water. You have to do it with really cool water. You can't.
We've got pigeons behind us. I hear the birds. We've got pigeons behind the screen.
They're listening.
They're listening.
They're intrigued. You shouldn't tie your hair up. You should use only silk hair ties. You know, all these things.
You've got to be gentle with your hair.
Yeah, you've got to be really gentle. And they recommended to cut your hair so it's less weight. So I followed all of those things, and you know, I finished the Taxol and I still had some hair. I mean, I had lost some on the crown, but you would never know unless, you know. And then I had this was the January, and I couldn't have my last two because I got mucositis in my mouth, which was like really severe. Couldn't talk. I had a really bad skin reaction. So my last two they omitted because I wasn't well enough. And then in the February, I had to have a double mastectomy. So at 31 years old, I had to face double mastectomy. My ovaries needed to be removed.
I didn't like it. I hated every moment of that. I didn't like
It's
it.
not pleasant, no.
Anyway,
Even the sound.
yes. So I remember at the afterwards, the nurse or doctor said to me, "Are there any questions you want to ask me, Trisha?" And I said, "No." And she said, "Do you know sometimes when you go home and there's things you think, oh, I wish I should have." I said, "No." Then I was taken into a room, this small room, and I thought, I just want to get out of here. I already know. And I had
want a cup of tea.
No, I didn't even want to know.
And Trisha, for anyone that doesn't know, loves her tea. In fact, we haven't got any tea. We might need to get some tea.
Hint.
Yeah. There's a queue for tea.
Okay.
So I went home. My sister came with me to that appointment. It was at King's College Hospital, and I went home, and it was just a waiting game after that. Then my appointment was on the 21st of April, and I got a phone call, and they said to me, "If you come to the Macmillan ward," but it's just because it says Macmillan, it doesn't mean.
Oh, okay.
It's a bit of a giveaway, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
like when the breast care nurse walks in with consultant.
Yeah, you know the
that's-
telltale signs now.
Signs, yeah.
So anyway, I was told on that day that I was HER2 positive, and that I was going to have chemo first before surgery because they needed to shrink the tumour because it was quite large and in an awkward position. So operating first would have been.
So was it the lump you felt?
It was definitely the
Yeah. So there wasn't any other. It was that was the.
Yeah, it was just that. And so I started chemo in the May 22, and before that I went to see the oncologist, and the first thing he said
You're
to me when
smiling,
he
it's
saw
a
me,
funny story.
the first thing he said when he saw me, because I had a big head of hair,
She had an afro.
and he said to me, he sat down, he checked my name, date of birth, "You will lose your hair."
Oh, subtle.
That's what he said to me.
Sorry.
But
Were you not? Did you find that funny? I'd have been like.
I did not. I thought it was funny because I thought, no, I'm not. That's what I thought to myself. Well, yeah, I'm not going to lose my hair. But anyway, that's the first thing he said to me.
Bedside manner.
So anyway, I started chemo in the May, and after the first session of EC, maybe about a few days after, my hair started to fall out. I'd wake up in the morning, it was on the pillow. I'm still in denial. I'm thinking, no, this can't be that. And then I played a trick on a friend I know in the hairdressers. I went and had my hair washed, and I could see her face like, what on earth? But I just sat there, and then I went like that, and my hair came out, and I went, "What have you done? What have you done?"
no, that's evil. That's horrible. Poor hairdresser.
And then afterwards I told her, and then she started crying. But I said, yeah, I've just been to, and it was a tough time. And then I remember videoing myself. I was like, "Guys, look." It would just come out, and I recorded it. And then I cut it myself a little bit, and I thought, there's just too many wisps around, so I went to a barber's and just...
Was you offered a cold cap treatment?
No, I wasn't.
It wasn't
So
offered
you might
because
do,
I was told.
actually.
I was told about it, so even if they did offer it to me,
Right.
I wouldn't have taken it.
I mean, it does work for a lot of people. So, I mean-
I was given the option.
I was losing my hair.
was you breastfeeding up to
No.
that? No, so you couldn't even. So
I never had any milk with any of my children,
Right,
so
okay.
breastfeeding was
There's
never.
never an option.
No.
Right. Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a lot to deal with at 32, and then when they did my double mastectomy, they found another small tumour which was stage 1. So my left breast was stage 3, my right breast was stage 2, and they found another one in my right breast of stage 1. And because of that, he then told me I needed more chemo, which was the red devil. And had I not needed that, I would never have lost my hair because I'd managed to keep
To
hold of
retain it. So
Yeah.
the cold cap did work.
It did work
Yeah.
with that type of chemo.
Yeah, but not with
I
the.
think once
yeah.
you have the red
EC,
EC, yeah,
that is the red devil.
yeah, Well, he called it AC. I don't know the difference.
It's definitely
He's
easy.
do, yeah. Yeah, and it was because of that I had to shave my hair off. But I wore a wig, as you know, and it was like permanently attached to my head. And I didn't want the children to see me without any hair because they were so young, and I thought it was a lot for them to deal with. But then now I look back, I think was I using them as an excuse because I didn't want to see myself?
Yeah, because it had been such a big thing
Yeah.
for you before you
I
even
even knew.
Before you
Yeah,
even knew you had
exactly.
cancer. I was like, I'm not losing my hair.
Like when my mum was diagnosed, my sister was like, I'm going to go and shave my hair off. And I was like, I can't shave my hair off. I can't shave my hair off. Because when my mum was losing her hair, she was like, Mum, I'll shave mine off. I don't care. And I was like, Mum, I'm so sorry, but I can't shave my hair off. Like that was just my biggest fear. It was more me, I think, deep down. And then I saw I think I emailed, there was a campaign of Nikki Newman, you know
Yeah,
her?
Nick
She lived near me and she passed away, and it really affected me. I was like, oh, she's so young, and
I remember
It's
I saw the Instagram post when I was going on the train out to London, and it just whoa.
Yeah, and it really got to me, and I was like, right, we need to do more. I need to do more to raise awareness so that another young woman doesn't, pass away, and that she didn't have a chance to start a family. And it's just something I always think about. So I was emailing breast cancer charities, and then I emailed Pink Ribbon Foundation, is there anything I can do? What's missing? Can I help? And then you emailed back about the Bold exhibition. And
The timing was perfect.
Yeah.
You kind of landed at the right time.
Yeah, and I was like, oh,
yeah.
but what about my wig? Because it was attached to my head. It's not.
This.
Yeah.
So it's a whole new world curly hair for me, which is.
But it does go back differently, doesn't it? It does go back differently.
Yeah. So when that happened, I lasted another few days. I thought this is just going to take forever to fall out because it was everywhere. I was leaving hair all over the floor.
Molting everywhere.
Molting really badly. So in the end, a friend of mine who used to cut my hair, I just said, look, let's just shave it off. And that was actually quite. By that point, it was. I managed to hold it together. I don't think I cried too much really at all. I don't know. I think by that point it was just more of an inconvenience. So whether that helped slightly, it was more of a practical.
So what month did you do that in? Because we shot the photos in September 23.
Yeah, so that was,
how long had you been bald for?
So my first chemo was something like May 22nd.
Right.
So within 2 weeks without my hair.
Right.
And then so about 3 weeks later. So
sort of June time.
Yeah.
Patient is wider,
Yeah.
and you're reaching people that are maybe just at the start.
Yeah, and that's
of
all
their
I wanted
diagnosis.
to do. And there's one girl recently who, she was pregnant, and she found out she had it, and she had to have 2 lots of chemo whilst pregnant. And small world, we have the same oncologist, and I basically said to her I trust that man with my life. You are in the safest hands possible. And now she's had her little girl, and her little girl's here, and she now has to finish her treatment. But I just think imagine how scary that is, knowing what you're putting into your body with a human inside of you. So, and the fact that she reached out to me, I was like, well, I'm glad I did that, because she must have needed someone to talk to me, because she doesn't know me.
And also you can talk to people sometimes that have been through it that are not medical.
Yes,
absolutely.
There's someone you can relate, and then the fact that we do have the same oncologist, and then she changed to have the same consultant as well because she wasn't happy. But it was just it's like this little family, even the Bold group. Everyone's got their own story, and you're like, did you feel this?
Because that evokes then that person
That's
having
Thinking
to,
of you.
yeah, thinking of you. That's a really good thing.
Good day or bad day. I prefer that.
Yeah, or even just here when you want a coffee or a chat. So you don't have to answer that. It's something that they're just putting it out there that they're thinking of you. It's really important, I think, to show up.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing, isn't it?
100%,
yeah. Show up and be practical.
But don't get me wrong, obviously the outlook changes, you don't expect the small stuff, you do, they're the obvious things, but for us, we found that was quite a harsh lesson.
Yeah.
But one that now we're because if whatever happens, we're like, oh wow, that's really kind, because you didn't expect it. So now it's the less you expect, when you get it, it's even more of a nice surprise. So that's, and I didn't want it to sound sad.
No, but it's real. It's
real.
I
Yeah,
think it's real. It's
yeah.
realistic. And also, what's really important, I think, talking about friendship groups, is that a lot of people say you meet the best of people at the worst of times, and I think that's probably really true with everybody here, and like you say, within the Bold group of ladies, and with Caroline, the photographer, you meet great people with something in common, and that's not to say that you want to talk about it all.
Like, cancer robbed so much of me. Like, my mother-in-law did like all the weaning with Oliver because I physically couldn't, and I always go back to me being dramatic because I really was dramatic. And if before children you would say to me, oh, what would you be like as a cancer patient? I'd be like, oh my God, a nightmare. I'd just moan and do this. But honestly, like, I'm not even just blowing my own trumpet. I was the best patient. And I'm so proud of myself, of how I got through that with 3 young children, with like life.
Yay.
But yeah, I think the children were my biggest blessing because I felt like I had to put on such a front for them. But, you know, there were days where, like, Jessica, my eldest, would walk in my room and she'd take one look at me and say, Mummy, you're not feeling well today, are you? And this is at 5 years old. And I'm like, a 5-year-old already is emotionally aware when I'm having a good day or a bad day.
That means you've raised good children.
Yeah, she is.
For them to be intuitive.
Yeah, she is really good. She's like, that's okay. And then she'd be like, I'll get Lucy ready, who was like 2. And she would like get her up, get her dressed, change her nappy, and like just pull it on and off. It was pull up, nothing major. And yeah, I just feel like they were my strength because had they not have been there, then I probably would have felt really sorry for myself and I probably would have just stayed in bed because that's what I wanted to do. But I was like, no, even if it meant getting upstairs, going downstairs, sitting on the sofa, but they could see me up and out of bed. So if I'm out of bed, Mummy's okay. Yeah. So yeah, I think my children were my strength.
But for you, Trisha?
I'm just very.
Your support network has been meaningful to you?
Of course they have.
Yeah, I think
They found me and Pink Ribbon and Bold.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the best thing ever, and just get involved with other people that are going through the same or similar thing as you, and it just gives you that much support and comfort that you need. Definitely.
I don't need to add anything. I agree with that.
Yeah. So just on that, I will add something. When we all got together to do these photos in 23, and then obviously we had the journey with them in 24, doing all these different projects, I set up a WhatsApp group. I got everyone's permission and said, will you be happy to be on this Bold WhatsApp group? And now we still have the group. It doesn't mean that we're on it all the time or that you have to answer every email or message that comes through, but it just means that all of us with Caroline are on this group, and we always call it the Bold family because we all know everybody. We've all met, some of us more than others, but everybody's experiences are put on there, support is on there, and I think we know that everybody's got each other on that group. It's a safe space to talk about things and bring things up. But yeah, I hope it's a friendship there that is really supportive.
Definitely.
And you know, when I went to New York in November.
You went to the Midtown Ball, I know you saw it. She's
it.
messaged me and said, where's the ball that our videos was on? Yeah, it is big. It is big. Yeah. Your face was on that. Your face was huge on the video. Yeah. I'm gonna hunt through. We'll take another question, but I'm just gonna hunt through because this book here, Bold, you can buy this on the Pink River Foundation's. Oh, Trisha, how do you celebrate your body? Well, who celebrates your body?
Do you know, I found it difficult to look at myself because I've got scars, okay, from the lumpectomy, and I had 2 surgeries, which I didn't talk about, but yeah, I had 2 surgeries and I had a drain. The second surgery I had a drain, and it's kind of healed up a little bit, but I had a bit of a hole here, so I didn't really look at myself. And then my sister Lily, she bought me a dress. I think you met her. She came down to she bought me a dress and it was like an alter neck, and I had it on and I did a selfie and I saw the scar by accident and I thought, it's actually not that bad. That's the first time I've actually seen it. And so ever since then, I kind of think, and what? I don't really
Celebrating your scars now.
yeah. So, but at first it was difficult because obviously I know why the scars are there.
But they've saved you.
Yes. And it tells a story and everything. So, yeah.
I mean, I've got the full-on mastectomy, double mastectomy, scars across my body, and
And only recently had your reconstruction.
3 weeks ago, yeah.
3 weeks.
And
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
and I actually took part in a campaign, Mortal and Strong,
Yeah.
where I did like a topless photo shoot, and they put like gold leaf on my scars, and I still haven't seen the pictures because they haven't been released, and I'm like a little bit anxious about it, but then at the same time I look at myself in the mirror, and whilst yes I am slightly repulsed, I also think to myself, this body has held 3 babies, it's gone through 6 months of chemotherapy, 3 breast surgeries, and having my ovaries removed,
Just reconstruction.
Hair
loss.
hair.
Loads.
So now I like look at myself in the mirror and I just think,
Wow.
this is me. Like this is who I am. And
like
my
punching.
yeah, and like he still adores me, and obviously nothing would ever change that. But I'm slowly starting to feel like me again, but it's taken a long time, and I don't think you'll ever fully accept your new body, but you just learn to live with it.
And then hopefully learn to love it.
Hopefully, yeah.
Well, yeah, likewise, I ended up having a double mastectomy because I asked, they said a single in the end first, and I said, could I have a double because of the history? So I had that and immediate reconstruction using my stomach tissue. So I've got a lovely massive scar right across my stomach, and then scars on my breasts where they replaced the nipples or took the nipples off and took skin to create new ones.
Because are you ever prepared to see your breast without a nipple and an areola? Like it's not normal, is it? So
it's
it takes
weird.
a time to adjust to it.
Yeah, so it's scarred, it's and in last summer we went away and I had a bikini on and you can see my stomach scar. I mean it's healed really well, but it's still there. So you do kind of people looking and seeing and like that. So I was like, well,
Who
it is
cares?
what it is. It's and like you say, it's a kind of it doesn't. I suppose it's mine. It's what it is. I'm still here. It's
Yeah,
shows what you've been through.
We had
not
to
happen.
choose.
Yeah, it's I always said I'd just do what needed to be done, if it meant kind of getting rid of it. So yeah, you just adjust. So it's weird to look back. I have got photos of what I looked like before,
Me too.
and you sort of look back and it is a bit odd looking at it. But then I think I'm kind of getting used to it now. And I'm waiting for tattooing to be done.
Yeah, me
on
too.
that,
Yeah.
so we'll see.
And I can
if that
introduce you to my lovely
helps.
friend Vicky Martin for that, who does the areola tattoos. And we've done a couple of Facebook campaigns because her photos kept getting shut down from Instagram and social media because people
Yeah,
thought it was a real
yeah.
nipple,
Yeah.
because the 3D nipple is amazing. And what she has to do is, I mean, it's all been cleared now, and Facebook don't block her anymore. We had some great protests outside the head office, dressed in these giant inflatable boobs. It was great. I've got some great photographs of me with policemen in London dressed as a giant boobie. But her artwork is amazing. And what she does now is when she takes a photo of before and after, she puts a cotton bud along the nipple, so it doesn't raise.
Yeah.
So you can see it's completely flat, because when you look at it with all the detail and the shading, it looks like a real
Well,
nipple.
the thing is some people are like, well, why do you want that? Like my sister's had preventative vasectomy, but she's not bothered about the nipple tattoo, and she's like, oh, I really don't care. Like it doesn't give you the projection. And for me, it's more just that if I get that glance in the mirror, I almost want it to look normal.
Yeah.
Without because if you see it in the mirror, you're like, oh yeah, that's my nipple.
Yeah.
I don't care about the actual,
Yeah.
sticking out bit.
Yeah.
But just to see something where it should be.
And that's what women say that have had these tattoos done, is that they do it purely for themselves. It's not for anybody else's benefit.
Yeah, it's not
It's so that when
anyone.
they get out of it's so that when they get out of the shower and they look at themselves full front in the mirror, they look complete.
Yeah,
and it is kind of almost like that coming full circle and being complete.
It's
And
like
Vicky,
time, and I was like, but then I also felt inspired. So it was like a bit of a U-turn moment.
and then we've got Kat, and Kat, you just are so beautiful in this. It's kind of an Audrey.
Oh,
No, do you know what? People criticize. We do this all the time. We
I hate
criticize.
having my photos taken, so to do that.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you all actually responded to that advert to come on board and to have your photographs taken, because I think
I said no 3 times.
I know Caroline was adamant that she wanted to go. But I just think you guys' stories, not just from today, and this is like a year later, like over a year later, that we're still talking and communicating and raising awareness. It's so important. But if obviously we would love to hear from you as well, because it's great to raise awareness, but obviously we need to raise money so that we can support the services that these lovely ladies and others like them want to use. So thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
We'll see you soon, hopefully.